10 a.m. For that to work. But good morning, everybody. That was a little tough of a start. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why is this over here? First of all, scary. Why am I even looking at that on the screen? See what we got here. The SPY looking up slightly. Pre-market QQQ up slightly. Crypto pulling back like crazy. I think because the SEC canceled a meeting, but we'll get into that. What else we got going on in the news here? Treasury yields are little changed as U.S. threatens Iran with more economic sanctions. Where did Putin go? Treasury yields little changed. Interesting. How a niche copper trade between the became a real-time gauge. Tell me about copper. How a niche copper trade became the real-time gauge of Trump's next tariff move. One specialist arbitrage trade on a metal commodity is evolving into a real-time gauge of U.S. tariff risk. Copper, seen as a broader economic barometer, with the industrial metal a key component in construction, electronics, transportation, has been on a tear for more than a year. 69, $6.90 per pound last week. The spread between U.S. COMEX futures and London metals exchange prices has historically been used by physical traders, banks, and hedge funds producers and consumers to profit from temporary price differences and hedge against price risk between the two markets. Arbitrage was historically driven by factors such as Chinese demand shock, supply disruption in South America. Now, through Societe Generale, analysts say the trade has been upended by the prospects of fresh Section 232 tariffs. Copper cranking. I mean, kind of a nothing burger article, not really. Putin, absolutely unacceptable. Japan PM Takachi condemns Putin's visit to disputed Kurilis Islands. What does that mean? Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit. Okay, so what happened here? Japan Prime Minister Sane Takashi has criticized Russian President Vladimir Putin's first ever visit to the disputed Kuril Islands, saying they were inherently Japanese territory. Repeatedly requests the Russian side to ensure the president does not visit the Northern Territories. Absolutely unacceptable. The Kuril Islands sit between the southern tip of Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula and the northeastern corner of Japan's Hokkaido. The sparsely populated and volcanic archipelago separates the Sea of Akash from the Pacific Ocean. The four southernmost islands of the chain were annexed by the Soviet Union and launched an invasion of Japan territories towards the end of World War II. During his trip, Putin visited the island of Iturup, where Russia operates a strategically important military base. Toured a fish processing complex, a hospital, and a school before holding a meeting. The regional governor. These people all look Russian to me. Japan renounced all right, title, and claim to Kuril Islands in the 1951 Treaty of San Francisco. Tokyo and Moscow from signing a peace treaty since the end of the war. Japan's defense white paper. Analysts at the Institute for the Study of War, Washington-based think tank, said Putin's visit was likely part of the Kremlin's response to Japan's latest defense white paper and aims to undermine Takashi's efforts to improve defense capabilities. There's definitely something brewing. I was watching yesterday history. There was an All In podcast that just happened, and it was very interesting. They got into some deep arguments. Before I let Miles watch a bunch of music videos, or after? music videos. Nobody knows. There was a David Friedberg explained. No, this one. Rahm Emanuel, Trump's foreign policy, China, Europe. This was actually very interesting. Whoever Ron Emanuel was seems like he worked under Clinton and the Bush administration, and he did a lot of stuff when it comes to international relations. It's a very interesting podcast. They fought a lot, and he brings up a lot about China, why we're so friendly with Japan, why we invest a lot in Japan, why Japan invests a lot in us, how we have the largest military base in Japan, foreign military base in Japan, and then how we keep a aircraft carrier stationed in Japan at all times. And that there is a big fight right now for Taiwan, Japan, and the Philippines. And Japan is a very strategic ally of ours in that region. And the economic exchange and cultural exchange between Japan and America. He cited baseball, which was crazy. Crazy thing to cite, if anything. What else do we have here? Data centers in space could be a new frontier for insurers. Reddit is interesting. I just heard Reddit entered the S&P 500, which I think is interesting. I'm glad it did. Like the whole Reddit news. Yeah, this is very interesting to me. Reddit seems to be a source for human information for AI. Where does AI go to learn? Where do they get input information from humans? Reddit seems to be that place. This is very, very interesting to me, and I found myself going to Reddit when I'm looking up things for solar or other things. One moment. Give me 2 seconds, Chad. I'm gonna turn back on the music for a moment, and I will be right back.
To you that I never knew all the things you say they were never true in the games you play. You would always win, always win. But I said, watch it burn, touch your face. When it burn, will I cry? 'Cause I heard it screaming out your name, your name. I said,
Muted. Thank you, Ian M. Appreciate you. Sorry about that. Had to run upstairs. I was out of breath anyway. I'm over here struggling, huffing, puffing. GM. Sorry. Reddit shares rose 11% in extended trading on Thursday. Social media companies' inclusion in the S&P 500. I love this. I get exposure to Reddit. I was just looking at Reddit going, man, I'd love some exposure here. Definitely seems like a place where AI is going to learn. The company will join the index August 18th, removing Avalon Bay Communities, which I believe was a healthcare REIT. Companies often see their stock climb when they're added to major indices because fund managers who trade the benchmarks have to buy shares to match the changes. Reddit, which hosts online forums of thousands of topics, becomes only second pure play social media company in the S&P 500. Meta, one of the world's most valuable companies, is the other. Pinterest and Snap, but they're smaller by market cap. Twitter was in the S&P 500 until it was acquired by Elon Musk. Second quarter earnings late July, straight quarter of sales growth topping 60%, but the stock tanked after the company told investors that search referrals were choppy. Google increasingly pushing its Gemini powered AI. This is true. People need to go to Reddit. That could be a problem. Like, I do see people are so used to Googling something and then it leading to Reddit answers. And if Google pushes away from that for their own AI answers, then people have to rebuild the habit of going and searching on Reddit specifically. Nintendo shares pop. Treasury yield news flat. Situation awareness blow up puts leverage under scrutiny. Copper, oil, blubbity 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 blah. It's a Friday. You know, what's really happening in the news? Are we going to go in to the weekend poorer or slightly richer? Who knows? I bought a bunch of calls on Wendy's yesterday. I fucked up really bad. I actually bought 30 calls and I accidentally closed 10 of them for a $50 loss like an idiot. So, we need Wendy's to moon. We need Wendy's $9. Chat. We need that's the Reddit meme. That's the Wall Street Bets meme of the day. Wendy's. Why is crypto going down today? Why is everything else up? Gold is up $4,377, almost up over a little over 0.5%. Bitcoin's down 1%. ETH down 0.5%. DeFi getting smacked. Uniswap down 6.6%. All of DeFi fucking wrecked. What is happening? Lighter down to 223. What is happening in crypto? Tell me. Is this Coindesk.com? Where's the sidebar? What is going on here? Is this really Coindesk.com? Did they change? Where's the? Oh, I'm just like way down in the thing. Okay. Fear is fading across markets, be it Bitcoin, stocks, or gold. What are you talking about? Everything's down a point. What? 50 minutes ago? That was your thing? Wall Street infrastructure comes to prediction markets. U.S. SEC to again delay innovation exemptions for tokenization amid Wall Street White House concerns. People are pissed. That's why. People are mad because they wanted everything is getting stalled by government. That is why Clarity Act gets stalled, SEC's innovation exemptions stalled. Crypto is getting its ass kicked, yo. Delay plans to sell Maldives resort token. Oh my god. Why do they even have that? What does that even mean? Put this J out to read this bullshit. Trump family World Liberty Financial delays plans to sell Maldives resort token. Why does a resort in the Maldives have a token? Can we answer that first? Cryptocurrency project backed by the Trump family delayed plans to sell a token related to his resort in the Maldives. The token was planned to go on sale next year, giving investors a share of the revenue from loans financing the Trump branded resort. But this has been pushed back due to the Iran war. disputing travel in the region. Dude, what? Come on, man. So the token is to the loans that financed the resort. 88.5. World Liberty Financial Token is down 88.5% from its record high September 2025. Holy fucking wrecked. Holy fucking wrecked. JP Morgan shuttered its banking relationship with predictions platform Polymarket. This Tether audit was interesting. KPMG said they audited Tether and they went and counted every single bar of gold that they said backs Tether. Interesting, and this just hit me. But I wonder if they looked at historically, like now that gold's run up to 4,300. You know what I mean? Like, did they have enough gold back when gold was worth fucking in 2025 when gold was only fucking $2,600? Jesus Christ. Gold went from 2,600 to 4,300 in 2 years. That is crazy. I don't own any gold. Does like GLD pay a dividend or anything? It can't, right? Like, what is a gold trust going to pay in a dividend, right? Is there something that holds options on gold or that sells like calls on their GLD holdings or something? I don't know, very interesting. Tether, the company behind the world's largest stablecoin USDT, said Thursday it had completed a full financial audit for the first time, claiming it delivered on transparency measures it promised for years and questions lingered over the assets backing its token. KPMG US, one of the big four accounting firms, hell yeah, go KPMG, audited Tether's international financial statements for the year end December 31st, 2025, and issued an unqualified opinion. Wait, unqualified? That means the accounting firm found the statements fairly presented Tether's financial position, results, and cash flow in all material aspects under U.S. generally accepted accounting principles. Issued an unqualified opinion. Why is it an unqualified opinion? What's the unqualified part? The statement showed Tether's reserves exceeded liabilities by 6.8 billion at the end of 2025. Confirmed that the firm issued an unqualified opinion on Tether's international financial for 2025, but has no further comment due to client confidentiality. The audit is a step up from the quarterly attestation Tether has published for years after settling an investigation with New York Attorney General Office. An attestation checks specific information such as the amount and composition of reserves at a given date. A financial audit takes a broader look at a company's books, testing transactions, assets, liabilities, income, cash flows, and the evidence supporting them. Deloitte, Ernst & Young, PricewaterhouseCoopers audits many of the world's largest companies. Tether's transactions, systems, valuations, counterparties, and ownership records, according to the company. Auditors also physically counted and inspected its gold bars. Tether has repeatedly promised a full audit while relying on reserve attestations, leaving critics asking why the company of its size hasn't undergone the same level of scrutiny common among large financial firms. The stakes have only grown. USDT swelled to over 180 billion in market capitalization, while Tether has become a major buyer of US government debt. Um, does anybody want to point out that they're only like 3%, like 4%? They only have 4% coverage. They have 180 billion out there, and they only have 6.8 billion that exceed their liabilities. Like they weren't far off from being break even or under. You know what I mean? Wait a minute. 6, 8, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 6 billion divided by. Wait. This is, which is the equal sign. Got to put it into words. 6,800,000,000 is equal sign what percent? Just a letter X of, which is times this thing. So then you divide it by. So you take that and divide it by this big number. Wow, I haven't done math in a long time. 3.7%. They're less than 4% away from break even. Shouldn't they be way ahead? That does scare me that like Tether might not have been. Like they might have taken the past year and a half since Trump got into office to actually get caught up. And like didn't they raise a bunch of money and shit? That's kind of scary to me, dude. They're 4% away, only 4% above. After all these years, I would think they'd have a stockpile of fucking cash. Aren't they the most profitable company in the world? They have the like most profit per employee and all this shit. I mean, something is a little weird there. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Dude, Trezor lost all your customer information. If you buy hardware wallets, you're fucking up. Kalshi in talks with Sequoia Wellington for 700 million fundraise at $40 billion valuation. Wow. Prediction market giant Kalshi in advanced discussions with Sequoia Capital and Wellington Management for a new $750 million funding round. Sequoia, which is already an existing investor in Kalshi and Wellington, are considering leading the investment round, the sources said, adding that the funding amount could be greater than 750 million. Silicon Valley-based Sequoia, which has 56 billion in assets under management, already has an executive on Kalshi's board of directors. For Wellington, a Boston-based financial giant with 1.3 trillion, holy fucks, with the T, dude. That would be its first investment in Kalshi. Wellington has made private investment in companies leading up to their initial public offering. Kalshi is considered to IPO in 2027. Kalshi, which raised $1 billion in May at $22 billion valuation, is now the number one prediction market platform by revenue, followed by Polymarket, which was last reported to be seeking funding at $20 billion following a $600 million investment. Wow. They are raising so much money for these fucking prediction markets. And like I get it. After speaking with Brian Quintes from Kalshi, like I do understand where there is a place for prediction markets in traditional finance and insurance, and being able to hedge against specific outcomes and events makes sense, but it's not really being used for that yet, to be honest. Like it's a little early, and I think it's still some crazy number like what percentage of prediction Market volumes are sports. Dude, 62 to 90%. Sports contracts typically represent 62 to 90% of its trading volume. Like that is just gambling. Polymarket sports make up approximately 40 to just 40% of its volume, with the platform maintaining a more diverse mix, including politics and crypto. Okay, interesting. It's a little lower. It's still above a third of it is sports. The politics one is interesting. You could be hedging there. Crypto, I guess, is a form of trading. I don't know. That seems like gambling to me. Industrial average across the broader industry, sports event contracts drive more than 80% of total prediction market trading activity. Dude, if 80% of it is just sports betting, it's kind of gambling. You haven't really shown me otherwise yet. But I do like, being able to hedge something like our fucking outdoor parties. Hopefully it doesn't storm, but if it does, I could maybe hedge that with a prediction market on how much rain will be. Premier League betting is back in 2 weeks. Oh man. Oh man. JP Morgan Chase stopped providing its banking services to prediction market platform Polymarket late last year. Bank told Polymarket it would have to secure a different banking partner and amid regulatory worries. Polymarket has already moved to another lender, though that firm's name remains undisclosed. Polymarket was barred from serving U.S. users in 2022 after the CFTC hit the platform with a $1.4 million settlement for running an unregistered derivatives trading venue. Wow. Once the Trump administration loosened the rules. What? Very interesting. Even after cutting formal banking ties, JP Morgan has reportedly kept some connection. For instance, it invited CEO Shane Copeland to address a private client conference in February 2026 and is still angling for a role underwriting any future IPO. That's pretty fucking funny. Yeah, you can't use our banking services, but if things actually do get good for you, we'll, we'll be here. Like, thanks. Thanks. Thanks a lot. There aren't really any articles, which is kind of crazy on Robinhood chain like blowing up. Where's all the like Robinhood fastest growing layer two, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Wow, they're just copying articles. Interesting. DeFi doesn't exist anymore, just on chain finance. Yeah, that's the fucking point. Hey, buddy, that's the point. Figure Technology Solutions, the blockchain lending firm co founded by former SoFi CEO Mike Cagney, more than doubled its revenue in the second quarter as lending activity surged across its marketplace. 226 million in net revenue for the first quarter. Whoa. 113% from a year earlier. Net income climbed 192% to 87 million. 35 cents per diluted share, while adjusted EBITDA more than doubled to 119 million. Consumer loan marketplace, where volume reached 4.3 billion, up 132%. Marketplace connecting loan originators with capital providers, accounting for 2.8 billion, or about 65% of that total. Wow, FIGR. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. FIGR. What are you? You're a public company here? When did this go public? September of 25? Interesting. Interesting. Sitting at $32, huh? As options. Figure is one of the more established publicly traded companies trying to move lending and capital market activity onto blockchain rails. Its platform connects loan originators, blah, 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 blah. The company added 102 loan origination partners during the quarter, bringing the total 489 across mortgage lenders, banking, and fintech firms. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is for on chain mortgages? Circulation of yields, its yield bearing stablecoin rose 556 million at the end of June. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm gonna get me some figure. FIGR. Figure. I am in. I love that. Glad I read that article. I'm gonna definitely learn more about it. Claude, tell me everything you can find about the stock ticker. Interesting. Interesting. Claude, give me some information here. Give me 2 seconds, chat.
They forgot that I'm. What you gonna do with all that junk inside your trunk? I'ma get you drunk, get you love drunk off my hump, 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 my lovely little lumps. Check it out. How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? What devotion are you? How deep is your love? Is it like Nirvana? Hit me harder again. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean? Hold me closer again. How deep is your love?
We're back. Nobody's watching anyway, are they? It's not like I don't even look at the other chat. Yeah, nobody said anything from the other channels. Interesting, interesting. Oh, wow. Yeah, you better be fucking doing a lot of work here, Claude. You better be working it out, brother. Lots of negative news. Negative Nancy's today. Lots of negative Nancy's today. You know what's interesting? Wow. Is this going to pull back today or be green while the crypto market is red today? That is powerful. The low here, 25 bucks was the low. Interesting. I'm very interested here, Claude. What do you got to tell me? Wow. Claude is still working. Get to working, dude. Work it out, Claude. I saw somebody post on Twitter yesterday. They posted like Claude worked for like 50 minutes straight before it gave them an answer. And they were like, I was starting to feel lonely or something because Claude was working without them for so long. They didn't have to say or do anything. They in the comments they said it worked too. They said it was like perfect. Whatever came out was perfect. Whatever it was. All right, tell me about Treasury yields. Relatively unchanged on Friday after the U.S. said its naval blockade of Iran ports could continue indefinitely. Less than a basis point. So things are just flat. What's oil at? This oil is what matters here. Oil flat. We're just flat. I think we're at this point. Like people have just fucking found another way around, right? An indefinite war and a record breaking rally. This is interesting. Just an interesting title. What is going on here? Is this an Asian article? Annie? Anique? Bao? This is a Korean trader, a currency trader working at the Ford Exchange dealing room at the Hana Bank headquarters in Seoul, South Korea on November 2016. This is a long time ago. 10 years ago. Writing to you from Singapore. Okay. 6 months into the Iran war, Washington stopped talking about when it ends. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said in Panama that the U.S. Navy can maintain its blockade ports indefinitely, rotating warships in and out of the region. Wall Street heard that and bought stocks anyway. S&P set intraday trading record, also notched a closing record, on track for its third straight weekly advance. Interesting. He's like, I'm coming to you fresh out of Singapore, and y'all are crazy. What's going on? Markets often climb a wall of worry. On Thursday, they climbed a naval blockade. Notching an all time intraday high while NASDAQ composite added 0.8%. Futures were little changed with the 3 major benchmarks heading for a third straight winning week. Brent crude for October deliveries fell more than 2%. A war toll still lurking. Indefinite war. Hexus, blah, blah, blah. The UK economy is showing further signs of a long awaited rebound, but the outlook has been complicated by the fallout from the Iran war. And we read an article about that the other day. No big deal. We get it. UK is the most Seoul's round trip away from the war, Asia's trip trade has just done something remarkable and slightly unnerving. The Kospi entered a technical bull market Thursday, rebounding more than 20% from its July 30th lows after a rout driven partly by leverage positions and forced selling pushed it into a bear market territory last month. Everybody's been way over leveraged. People are so leveraged to the gills. AI's musical chairs, investors, meetings, and executive departures all have dominated the AI news this week, shifting attention from model capability to the industry's financing and leadership. Anthropic CFO Krishna Rao is leading early meetings with prospective investors ahead of potential IPO. Though the conversations haven't covered financials or valuations. Well, what are they covering? What else is there to talk about? Hey, you guys using Claude? David Faber, the company in June filed confidentiality for its IPO in May, around valued at 965 billion. OpenAI lost chief revenue officer Dennis Dresser after 8 months, days after longtime executive Brad Lightcap announced his exit. What's happening at OpenAI? Mark Zuckerberg's open source Meta's most powerful model, arguing that concentrating AI in a few hands is inherently problematic. A line aimed squarely at OpenAI and Anthropic. Plant that has already shipped its first AI servers. For now, the Iran war has become quite quite like weather. Traders check the forecast every morning and assess if they need to brace for inclement conditions or can march ahead without an umbrella. SK Hynix up and down, Nvidia, blah 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 blah. Interesting, interesting, I will say. Getting closer every moment here. This thing is fucking fly or a gnat just touched my nose. What the fuck was that? Did you see that? I don't even see a fucking gnat or anything flying around, but something landed on the tip of my fucking nose. What the fuck was that? Listed on September 11th, 2025 at $25. We're at 32. This thing is actually up. It ran like crazy. Did it report around here or something? Why did it run up so hard in the beginning of the year? This is very interesting though. What what did Claude have to say? Damn, Claude, you've been working forever, dude. Give me a fucking answer here, guy. God, imagine if I was on fucking. Wait, why am I on Opus? Fuck. Opus? We only got one of these things done. How long are you gonna be fucking working on this, dude? I guess that's what we want. We want it to give us information, and we do have 30 minutes till the market opens anyway. Oh, wow. Actual was way up 35 cents. Then they went down. Estimated was a little higher. That okay, okay, bringing it back, and now they're beating again. Should we replay the earnings call? Analysts rating a buy. 78% of 9 ratings. Who are the analysts? Who are the analysts? Can you give more information here? Hedge funds are selling. Insiders seem to be selling. Hmm. I don't like that. They're dumping on your head. Where can I get like fundamental information about the company? Headquartered in Rito, huh? Blockchain native capital marketplace, which engages in connecting, originating, funding, secondary market activity, and operates through the following segments. Founded in 2018. Interesting, interesting. Dude, Claude has been working on this task for 12 minutes. What we got going on here, dude? Seems to be close. One, two, three of the four things are done. Of the four agents are done. Okay, that's fair. Claude be taking a lot of time to give somebody some information here, buddy. What? Oh, wow. Data breach notices have already blown past last year's total, and AI is playing a growing role. Be safe out there. Even as companies devote more resources to cybersecurity, the number of reported data breaches involving consumer personal data is on pace to surpass last year's record. More than 471 million victim notices were associated with data compromises in the first half of 2026. That's fucking mass. Holy shit. Identity Theft Resource Center, a nonprofit that assists identity theft victims. Dude, I was watching. There's a guy in my state. Where the fuck was. What was I watching? It was crazy. It was on like North Korea taking like real jobs and shit. Man, it was like 2 nights ago. This is gonna take me a while to find this, but it was fucking absolutely insane how these North Koreans are like getting people to set up laptops. Dude, this documentary is absolutely insane. People should 100% watch. The North Korean operatives hiding inside US companies. Bro, they interview a guy in my state in fucking Ohio who sets up multiple laptops. North Koreans have been getting fucking jobs in his name, and he got in through fucking crypto. It was all because of fucking crypto, dude. So met people in Discords, met people in the Discord. Bruh, definitely going to jail. I want the follow up on that guy. Like, he definitely went to jail. He also looked like he was high on drugs while they were interviewing him. And they said they were running like 3 jobs for him, and he got to keep half the paychecks. And all he had to do sometimes was show his face in the meeting. Dude, it was so fucked up. It was such a fucked up. North Korea be working at, and it said they started. North Korea started trying to work at crypt. It's so fucked, dude. They started working at crypto companies to find vulnerabilities at crypto companies, then realized they could just work at any company and get paychecks. And get fucking paychecks, dude. And now they just work at like Google and Meta and fucking all little places everywhere. It's fucking crazy. What are they looking for, J6? Dude, they're looking for everything they can get about you. Your name, your address, your phone number, your email, your bank account information, if you hold crypto or not. People are getting fucking wrench attacked all over France and Europe to steal your money or your identity, to get a job under your name, to to get a loan under your name. Like if you watch that documentary, there's people that are fucked that they've like taken out multiple jobs under their name, and now those people fucking like their taxes show they have all these jobs. It was like it's like poor people too, so then they can't get their fucking government aid because the government thinks they fucking work and stuff. See, I check like all my accounts every day, so I'm probably not their target. No, it doesn't matter though. What you wouldn't even know until you got the tax report. What if they stole your identity and fucking got a job in your name and opened a different bank account that you didn't even know about? You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you're like missing on your taxes. Surely I could tell. Who do you tell? And how do you prove it? You're going to call up? How do they know you are you and you're not somebody else? That's the where it gets fucking crazy. There's no real like good way to unwind this once you've been super fucked like that. You know what I mean? Supreme Court, that's how it works, right? Oh shit, yeah. Jay Siggs going to the Supreme Court to get his Social Security back. Yeah, that's gonna work. We'll see you there, dude. Hey. Look, like think about it though. How many times, dude, my card's been hit? Your credit cards have to have gotten stolen at some point, and you see like online fraud and shit like that. The half year tally compares with 297 million notices issued in all of 2025. Holy fuck. We did like double the amount, not double, but almost double last year's total year in the first half of this year. That is fucking crazy. The increases in data breaches comes as artificial intelligence's ever improving capabilities make it easier to exploit vulnerabilities in company systems. Cybersecurity ranks among the top three priorities for 93% of audit committees in public companies. Leading priority. Most polled companies around the globe, 78%, indicated they would boost their cybersecurity budgets over the next 12 months. More incidents involving malicious insiders. Dude, this is the problem. Fart, what's good? Got Fart, Enam, J Siggy, what's going on? 9 a.m. It's like I need to stream a little later. It's like I need to do like an 8:30 to 10 a.m. type stream if I could, but it's so hard. So hard with work, you know what I mean? The raw number doesn't look very big, but when you look at it historically, trend lines, insiders have been big sources of data breaches. We've never seen more than 3 data breaches in a given year related to malicious insiders, and you get 21 in 6 months. Wow. Part of the increase is due to disgruntled laid off employees who are stealing information on the way out the door. Organizations have been targeted by a scam the FBI has flagged in which North Korea places remote IT workers in U.S. businesses using stolen identities, deepfake videos during interviews, and AI-generated resumes. This is arguably the most significant structural driver of malicious insider attack, the report leaked. Dude, this is crazy. You shouldn't, even if somebody's working remotely, they should have to physically fucking show up for an interview. They need to fly your ass in. You need to shake someone's fucking hand and go to lunch and shit. This is crazy, dude. Absolutely insane. This is like some futurism movie type shit, right? Like this is like some fucking like I don't even know what movie I'm thinking of. Uh, but like it's just some futurism shit where people one day like you're gonna be banned and not have an identity, and you're gonna need to like convince somebody to go be your identity and worker and shit. That's fucking dude, crazy shit. Probably occur more frequently than reported. Only 24% of notices sent to affected consumers in the first half of 26 included details of the data breach. They include in their notices to only what is required, which varies from state to state. For consumers, the best way to protect your personal information from being used is to protect your credit, experts say. You can review your credit reports, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Yeah, this is true. Also, sign up for free credit monitoring. But didn't E&M just said it's fake? E&M says LifeLock's a scam. Credit report, which would compel lenders to contact you if they receive an app in your name to confirm it's authentic. Most secure way to guard against someone getting a loan in your name is to freeze your credit at each of the credit firms, which means your credit report cannot be checked. This free precaution generally will prevent a bank from approving a new account or loan in your name. You have to first lift your credit freeze temporarily. This can be an annoyance to do, but it's kind of the Fort Knox of credit protection. If you're meaningfully concerned about your information being out there, I always suggest a credit freeze. Then remember to thaw it when you want to apply for credit. You got to thaw out, dude. Like you thawing out some food for dinner, you got to thaw your credit. That is crazy. Dude, yeah, my company, they found people having GPT on their screen while doing Zoom interviews that gives them instant answers. Dude, that is so common. And when you watch that documentary I sent you, they do that too. North Korea's doing that to get instant answers. Dude, imagine, dude. And they're reading straight off of what ChatGPT says. It's so crazy. How does blockchain fix it? Blockchain does not fix it, Ian. I don't know what you're talking about. Blockchain is where they're doing the most damage. Blockchain hasn't even fixed itself. What are you fucking talking about? The most hacks are on the fucking blockchain. What? Blockchain breaks this? How about that? Blockchain breaks this. You know what I mean? It's my fucking bank. Definitely a typo. My bank and the insurance is really nice, dude. Ain't nobody hacking Robinhood accounts. You know what I mean? Fucking, I love this nice Robinhood account. It just goes up. It spits dividends. I'm not worried about fucking ETH down a 0.5%, Bitcoin down a point to 62,000 because Michael Saylor's flying too close to the sun and his wings are burning off and melting, dude. And he's fucking poisoning the water while he falls out of the sky. You know what I mean? I gotta take a rip because Chad's crazy. He's out here telling me fucking blockchain fixes this and fucking top news is people getting fucking hacked. What do you mean? Fucking news. Here it is, dude. Right here. XRP bridge drained for $200,000 after software mistook fake deposits for real ones. Blockchain doesn't fix this. You're welcome. Oof. Oof is right. But if you're a North Korean hacker hacks Robinhood, you're effed in the A. No, you're not. You're lying to yourself. Stop lying, dude. Stop lying, dog. Yo, D King with the prime sub. Let's go, my dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The resub there. Dude, this is insured. This account is insured. And I can't just transfer it out. You can't just come wrench attack me and get my fucking Robinhood money. It takes like days, weeks. People got to approve shit. Banks got to do things. It's tracked to your bank account and your name. It's not like crypto. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, dog. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? What it doesn't show on here, though, you want me to be real and actually say your side of it, too? As I said that, that is no longer actually true, chat. Because now in your Robinhood app, they're giving you 7% to stake on Robinhood chain through Morpho and their USDG coin. And all those people that are in the Robinhood app that have done that, you do now have access to a stable coin that somebody could wrench attack your ass and make you send your USDG to another wallet, but then it would have to be tied to another KYC Robinhood wallet. I don't know. I've never tried to send it, honestly, between people. So I don't know. Could you like send it to ETH main chain where somebody could dump it and fucking, you know what I mean? Or is it stuck on a Robinhood KYC wallet to wallet transfer? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Yes, I do, Ian. That's the whole point of the government. That's the whole point of the insurance. It's not even Robinhood paying you. It's an insurance payout. That's the point. Yes, I do believe. Yes, it happens all the time. People get frauded and they give you the money back. Yes, I believe, Ian M. Ian M, I think you should get a bank account, my dude. You are living off the New Mexican grid in the desert too much. You stare at the sun a little too hard every day, all right, my brother? We need you to put on some shades, all right? Stop staring at the sun with your mouth wide open, dog. Head into your local fucking bank and get you a bank account, dog. Get you a savings account. You know what? Sign up for Robinhood. Hey, exclamation mark Robinhood, dog. Get you a share, my dude. Like, Jesus Christ, man. This dude's all in fucking crypto over here. He doesn't even have a bank account and shit. You know? Calm down, buddy. Fish Eye Farmer, dude. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. $3 in bits, $3.10. Let's fucking go, dude. Appreciate it. A treasure train. I don't even know what the fuck a treasure train is. I appreciate that. Thank you, Fish Eye Farmer. Filed an SEC complaint against Robinhood back in the day. For what, dude? Dude. So that some lawyer can make money off your class action fucking lawsuit? What'd you get? Did you get $1? Good morning, happy Friday, Fisheye Farmer. We're sitting here watching the market. Pre-market's looking good. S&P and QQQ are like slightly up. Slightly up. We took a little bit of a flyer yesterday. We bought a whole bunch of meme call options. We have 20 call options on Wendy's. It's a painful chart to look at, chat. The all-time chart on Wendy's is painful. We peaked in, what is this? December of 2021, and it has been nothing but downhill from $23 down to fucking a bottom here of $7. We took a flyer on some Wendy's, dude. We think it has meme ability. We think it is Wall Street bets. We think there is also some nostalgia still left in the Wendy's brand. We also like Wendy's marketing. Their food has gone downhill. I feel like Wendy's has a chance to bring it back. You know what I mean? They have an opportunity to be the one with the square patties because they don't cut corners. They got the quality. You know what I'm saying? I had Wendy's the other day. It was super mid. So many other places I'd rather eat. Maybe Wendy's. Oh no, Jason. Why, dude? Why, man? Damn, dude. Wendy's for the comeback, my guy. Wendy's for the comeback, dude. 15 minutes till market open, alright? Jesus. They need to bring back Dave Thomas. Well, they can't do that. No matter what they do, unfortunately, Unc Dave, may he RIP, dude. We need his daughter and family to hold up the Dave Thomas way, dude. Fresh, never frozen, high quality, better than the other two. Like, Burger King is out of the question, right? Nobody fucking likes Burger King. Burger King is fucking trash at this point. McDonald's is just consistent. They have better customer service at McDonald's, at least the ones near me. Wendy's sucks. There's never anybody at Wendy's. The two people in there fucking always suck and just don't even want to work. You know what I mean? McDonald's is at least cranking, consistent, and mid. That'd be sick, dude. The day that we have fucking robots working fast food, I'm super in, dude. They'll stop putting cheese on my fucking burger, you know what I mean? P. Terry. I've been down to Austin and had some P. Terry's. Whataburger and Shake Shack are fire. Shake Shack specifically is also fire. There are Mighty Fine. I've never heard of that. There are great burger spots. P. Terry's is fire. But I think, dude, Wendy's was a high quality, also cheap fast food place. There is a different here, and I had this problem yesterday. Yesterday's lunch, all right? Penn Station. Penn Station subs. Dude, I went to Penn Station and I got myself a Philly cheesesteak, a lemonade, and a small fry yesterday. And this motherfucking sub came out to be just under $19. It's like $18.80 for lunch. For just a regular Philly cheesesteak, a fucking small fry, and a regular lemonade. Now, that's above cost, right? If I'm gonna go to a McDonald's, a Wendy's, something like that, I'm expecting to get out of there. Like if I go to McDonald's, between $8 and $12, depending on how hungry, if I want a drink or something like that, it's $8 or $12. If I'm gonna go spend more than that, I'm probably going to step up to the $20-$25 range and want some high quality. And the problem here is Penn Station has found themselves in a little bit of a bind. Okay? They've lowered the amount of meat. Look at how good this photo looks and how big the meat chunks are and all this shit. This isn't what you get. And I don't get cheese, so I see it more. When you give me a Philly cheesesteak with no cheese on it, the cheese doesn't hold the bun close and it fucking flops right open, and I see how much meat you put in there. And it's barely anything. They've cut back on the meat. They've cut back on the bread quality a little bit. You know what I mean? And that doesn't make sense to me. Because if I'm going to come to Penn Station, their whole thing was higher quality. Fresh baked bread in the store. Really good fucking Philly. You know what I'm saying? Lots of meat in there. Look at how fucking full that is. So if you're going to start skimping on me, you need to lower your prices even further and you get in a death spiral. You need to understand where you sit in the industry of restaurants. You're not fast food. You're fast casual. You're like the step in between where I would rather, if you're already going to charge me $19, brother, tack on another $6 and give me the high quality shit. I'll pay $22, $25 for the meal then. I'm already saying I want better than fucking McDonald's or Wendy's or some bullshit. I feel like that's where a P. Terry's, a Shake Shack, a Five Guys, they're all like better than. They're not meant to be like super fast food drive through. They're meant to be that like step up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And Shake Shack kind of is fast food, not gonna lie. Shake Shack is kind of fast, but they're good. They're good. They're high quality. They're like Five Guys. Better burger. It's can of McDonald's and Wendy's keep up with it. You know what I mean? As Nvidia partners with Wall Street firms to mobilize more than $500 billion of third-party capital for AI infrastructure, hyperscalers and their financial backers are turning to bond markets. At the same time, leverage is increasing investors' AI exposure as hedge funds and other investors use prime brokerage borrowings and derivatives to amplify returns on their bets on the boom. But the unraveling of AI-focused hedge funds' situational awareness after losses on its leveraged equity bets is heightening concerns over how much is being borrowed, how visible it is, and how quickly it could unwind as market watchers debate whether revenue justifies the scale of spending. NVIDIA's plan to develop platforms for AI infrastructure in partnership with Apollo, Blackstone, BlackRock, Brookfield, KKR, Goldman Sachs. Holy shit. Chips are now an investable infrastructure asset. Some tech giants are using joint ventures and other leasing vehicles to borrow money for AI data center spending without the debt appearing on their balance sheet until the lease begins. Whoa. Goldman Sachs estimated that hyperscalers have combined lease commitments for data centers, R&D facilities, offices, and equipment of $1.5 trillion, up from $200 billion 5 years ago. That's fucking crazy. This includes about $1 trillion of uncommenced lease commitments, which are not yet shown on financial statements. Holy fucking shit. Ultimate scale of the build out remains deeply uncertain. I do feel like we're getting a little crazy here on the build out. People are starting to borrow a lot of money and getting a little crazy. Kind of seems like we need to slow it down. diversifying their debt issuance beyond dollar-denominated paper, with issuers tapping euro, sterling, yen, Swiss. Okay, now it's definitely getting crazy. Out of the relative outperformance of euro-denominated bonds spread issued by Amazon and Alphabet compared with their U.S. counterparts, potentially hints at demand fatigue in the dollar market. Yeah, the fuck? The fund was unable to meet a series of margin calls from lenders after its heavily concentrated portfolio. SK Hynix CoreWeave suffered during recent tech sell-off. Its assets fell from 45 billion to 10 billion. Ken Griffin of Citadel stepped in, bought all his shit. That margin debt is pretty high, adding that it increases the risk of amplified volatility. That is primarily an expectations problem rather than a leverage problem. He said equity concentration is historically high in tech heavy markets. Amplifying market moves when heavily weighted stocks fall. The big equity indices are extremely concentrated and no one thinks anything could possibly derail them. That definitely feels like something's about to derail. Its bull run coincided with the unwind of leverage ETF structures, primarily in East Asia. Many of these structures, particularly in single stock structures, were only launched in H1 of this year. In that sense, it's a relatively contained case study. Dude, too much leverage. Too much It's crazy, dude. Every day, a new data center pop, and now the flock cameras. It's making sense. I don't like the flock camera thing. It's a little weird. Cameras everywhere, but I don't think we're ever going to be able to stop it. Like, we're in the information age, and that's just information like cameras and shit is going to get collected. You know? Unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And data centers, we're not, none of us are going to stop using data. Like, phone, computer, my fucking refrigerator is going to have a TV in it in a year. Like, everything is smart at this point. Smart car, smart printer, smart. You know what I mean? My dog's smart. Fucking put a chip in him and shit at this point. China built robots that can do backflips, but can they make money? Pew, 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 pew. Shots fired. As retail excitement around the listing of China's best known humanoid maker, Unitree Robotics, reaches fever pitch, skeptics are questioning how long it will take before these robots can move beyond running and acrobats to perform genuinely useful work. $22 a share. They raised 900 million. 61 billion won, about $9 billion. Wow. Interesting. Bridge adds while midnight snacking. Can't wait. Oh, God. Investors expect a big first day pop from Unitree when its shares start trading later this month, making the first humanoid robot firm to list on the blah, blah, blah. Lots of demand over there. Who cares? Are you going to tell me why it's good or bad? Celebrated for throwing kung fu kicks and bouncing back from knockdowns. Still face questions over whether the technology can scale commercially. They're fascinating. They can dance and all that, but I've never seen them doing any real housework. Progress for large-scale commercial adoption may be slower than expected, as robotic hands are still not precise or durable enough for sustainable use. Advanced humanoid robots can typically handle only a small number of tasks and for just a few hours before having to recharge. Most humanoid models run for up to 4 hours while sitting idle. So they're fucked. Lower cost manufacturing has helped China pull ahead of global rivals. I believe that. Global humanoid robot fleet to grow more than 90% annually. Average humanoid robot prices have plunged 93% between 2020 and 2025. to $58,000, according to Wood Mackenzie. The firm projects that Unitree's $16,000 flagship G1 model costs just $82 a year in electricity to run for 8 hours a day, but says wider adoption could add pressure to electricity systems. Hmm. Unitree has cut the pre-tax price of its G1 EDU model, a customizable built for research, last year to $27,000 while maintaining a 67% gross margin. Shift from labor intensive work to automation, interest in attracting funds into the emerging sector. Interesting. Unitree's low cost robots have become a go to choice for research humanoids at U.S. universities, but some researchers are unfazed about new restrictions because small batch imports for testing and development remain exempt. Is this the one that everybody was buying the dog one of? I do kind of agree. Like, when are we gonna see them like actually doing tasks? Like, when am I gonna see a humanoid robot that's gonna put the dishes away or clean the kitchen or clean the toilets in the bathroom and my windows or like do laundry and fold it and stuff like that or vacuum the fucking house? Can we just start with the Roomba actually working and shit? Is that a thing? 3 minutes till market open here. Wendy's? Look at some options. Be fucking going a little crazy here. Holy shit, those are expensive. Holy shit balls. That's expensive as fuck. That ain't like no Wendy's options, dog. 2 minutes. Why am I watching? You know you're over fucking leveraged when you want to watch how Wendy's stock at fucking $8 a share opens. Like, that's fucking dumb. Really dumb, right? We're gonna run the stream a little past open today. Just see what's going down, you know what I mean? One minute. We're gonna open way up there. Love that. Feels like we're up there. Feels like we're in rare air. There a horn or an alarm that goes off? No, maybe we should have that. We need to get like a pew 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 pew. But no, we don't have a horn or an alarm. Should we do that? Pew 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 pew. Wake up, JC. Here we go. Wake up. There it is. Bam. Pop. Look at that. Nice little pop. Up $400 on the day. Love to see it. Where's Wendy's at? Buck08. Love to see that. $113. Wow. Get myself a quick $360. Interesting. Interesting. Because I got Wendy's the other day. Exactly, Jay Siggy. We appreciate you, my dude. We appreciate you. What you're doing. What did Claude say? Jesus, yeah. Founded Carnegie, Mike Cagney's company, the guy who founded SoFi, got pushed out in 4 days. He got pushed out in 4 days in September 2017 over the frat house culture reporting. This is his wife, Juna, SoFi's former CTO. Ex-SoFi CEO and ex-Brex CEO. Cagney controls 67% of the vote through Class B shares. The core tension, and it's a sharp one. Q2 reported yesterday, revenue up, net income up. It has beaten its own volume guidance. Figure connected. The capital light marketplace piece went from nothing. Chain of hits. BOA. An IPO lead downgrading on valuation. Secondary priced at 32 3 weeks after. $78 high. Whoa. Customer data breach the same day. Arguing that blockchain is essentially cosmetic and the loan book is aggressively underwritten. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. They've had some troubles, my dude. It's fucking flying while I read this, though. That's funny as fuck. Winley. On buying versus selling, this is the part I'd sit with. Insiders sold 58 million net over 12 months against exactly one purchase of 153K by director David Chow. Two sales stand out as non-programmatic. Tenenbaum sold $35 million worth. November 25, 4 months before the lockup expired, 2 weeks before he adopted a 10 and director liquidated to zero on the exact day the lockup lifted. The credit question is genuinely unresolved. Figure cites 0.8% delinquency on securitized pools. Morpheus cites 5.46 on the held for sale book. Both could be true, which would mean the good loans get sold and the rest stay. Full write-up is attached with financial tables. The founder background's a full chronology of the list. Couldn't confirm. Interesting. His current controversies. He publicly attacked DeFi Llama for refusing to list figures claimed 13 billion DeFi, that only millions in assets were verifiable on chain, and that transfers appeared to be mapped from Figure's internal database rather than initiated by holders. DeFi Llama Morpheus Research also documented him claiming Figure's loans are native blockchain assets and then posting 30 minutes later that digital twins don't work. Hmm. CFO of blockchain.com. Very interesting. What is securitize? Down 7% today. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Listed on July 1st? This thing has gotten wrecked. Falling knife there. Yeah, not touching it. Not gonna touch it. Just not gonna do it, you know? Just, yeah, not gonna do that. I'm gonna send it over to Stockstream, get to work. Appreciate everybody sticking through the open. That was fun today. We need Wendy's to be cranking into the green. Let's fucking go, baby.